it's time to start another vlog. I just finished editing last week's and it is exporting right now. So let me tell you about something crazy that kind of happened this afternoon. So I was going out to get the mail, as one does, and I hear this loud boom and I'm like, oh my gosh, what just happened? So I turn around and a minivan drove through somebody's mailbox, and it was crazy. Yeah, the things you see, like their airbags came out, the car was like smoking, but everyone who was in the car was fine, and the highway patrol's been, and all of that, so they got that all sorted. But still, I've never seen anything like that. It was kind of crazy. But we're not going anywhere today. I'm not going to North Carolina for once in my life. No. But yeah, I don't have any plans for this week. At least not yet. You never know. I could come up with something. There are several places I would like to go to, but I highly doubt it's going to happen this week. But in the long scheme of things, I do have places that Wikipedia has brought to my attention. But we're going to talk about what I am reading. So my short story collection that I am reading right now, and I've already read a short story in here today, which I do need to put down that I gave that short story a 4, because that's how I'm going to rate my short story collections. Is I'm going to give each one like a 4 or 5, whatever, and then do the average. So this is The Man Who Swam with Beavers, stories by Nancy Lord. This is all set in Alaska and based on Alaskan, or no, it's not all set in Alaska, but it's based on Alaskan Native legends and myths. And it really reminds me of Florida by Lauren Groff, except it's Alaska, and I am really enjoying this. I am loving it so far, and they're all pretty short, because sometimes short stories will be like 60 pages, and I'm like, I cannot read that in one sitting. And for short stories, I like to be able to read in one sitting. So this one is really hitting the nail with that, and I do recommend it. And then the next one I'm reading is Miracle Creek, which I typically would not read on a weekend, but I did not read on Wednesday or Thursday, so I am kind of behind on that one, and I am wanting to play catch up. So Miracle Creek is a like courtroom thriller, I think, or a legal thriller. I think you can use either term. And that is, there was a treatment center for people. It can be people with autism, people with chronic illness, people with infertility, can go here to this like above ground submarine. It's a submarine where they still have it controlled by oxygen, because the oxygen levels are what apparently helps these people with these conditions. I say apparently because I do not know for a fact if it helps or not, because I did not know this kind of therapy existed until I picked up this book. And it's by Angie Kim. I don't know if I said this was her debut novel. So one night when they're doing one of these therapy sessions, there are a man who is there for infertility. Then there is a boy with autism. And then there's actually 2 boys with autism, and then one of the mothers of them, and then a girl with cerebral palsy and her mother, because they go in, because they're children, and so they go in with a caretaker, or like in the case of the girl with cerebral palsy, she needs a caretaker with her. So that's why some of the, like the women are atypical, I think that's neurotypical. Yeah, neurotypical. So that's why they're there, because I mean, the minors need somebody there with them. So one night, one woman, Elizabeth, same name as me, she does not go in because she says she isn't feeling well. And that night there is an explosion. The submarine explodes. The son of the woman who doesn't go in dies, and the mother of the other boy with autism dies, and then the others get like burns. And so it's going into the court case of that. And then the next book that I'm reading is The Red Tent, which is the story of Dinah from the Bible, and or I know she's probably in the Torah and all the other religious texts, but she was the one daughter of Jacob in the Bible. So it's basically all those biblical stories that revolve around Jacob, Joseph, Rachel, Leah, all of them, but from Dinah's perspective. And you only hear about like Greek retellings and all of this, so it's really fascinating to see a biblical retelling, because I mean, that's the religion that I was raised on. So seeing the story is told from somebody else's perspective, I find really interesting. And obviously the Bible, I feel like it's really surface level, and because I mean, how many stories and books are they trying to fit in one book? A ton. So I mean, it makes sense, but seeing these stories dug deeper into is really cool, and I am really enjoying that. And then my next one is The Fiery Cross by Diana Gabaldon, which is the 5th book in the Outlander series. That is my ebook at the moment. Okay guys, so I'm done reading for the day. I think it was, yeah, 106 pages that I read. So the red tent was obviously the main thing that I read today, reading, I don't remember, 70 something pages in there. I love this book. It's not going to be a 5, like it doesn't hit that 5-star quality. I don't know exactly why it doesn't. It's just not a 5-star. It's more like a 4.5, 4.75. We'll just have to see when I finish. I am at 45% into it, I think, but I'm loving it. Like I said, it's kind of, it's a retelling in a sense, I guess. Yeah, I would say this is a retelling of the biblical story, so it's a story I'm really familiar with, but also there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember because it's been quite a while, and it makes me want to go like reread the Bible. Can we do that? I do think the Bible is a great story because, like, just think of all the stories in there. They sound like fantasy stories that would sell extremely well and people read, but people want to put off the Bible because it's a religious text. But I think as a story, and I'm not saying as a religious text is bad, it's not. But I've never read it like in its entirety, like, you know, from page 1 to the last page, because you don't have to do that. You can pick up anytime you want, but so with characters, I was getting kind of confused at first, and I do think that might play a part of why why it's not a 5-star, because I was getting like Rachel and Leah. I know that name's pronounced differently. Like, I've heard it pronounced a lot of different ways. I say Leah because when I see it spelled like that, that's what comes to my head. But I was getting them kind of confused at first. But I love this world and everything, and I won't, like, I don't know if this is the furthest back historical fiction I've read. I read one, Tyrant by Christian Cameron. I think that's the name. I see it on my shelf. I'm not sure if that's further back or if this is. I mean, maybe those Greek retellings are further back. I don't know, but at the moment I'm thinking this is, but again, I have no idea when this takes place. There's a family tree at the start. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm like, okay, I know their dad is Jacob, grandfather is Isaac, and great-grandfather is Abraham are their descendants. And Fred, no, don't get in the bed. But I don't know who the descendants are of these characters, are like the 12 tribes of Israel, or what the 12 sons. I don't know who their descendants are, and I need to see a family tree. There is a family tree, but it's not as detailed as I would like, which is no fault of the book, because the book doesn't cover the future generations. But if there are more biblical retellings, or this is why I'm confused, because this might be like, I don't know what to call it, if it's like a Jewish story, like a Torah retelling. I don't know what you call it, but since this is a story, I know it's in the Bible, but I think the author is Jewish because she seems to have written several Jewish books, or books about being Jewish, like nonfiction. So if y'all know any other books that are like these kind of things, like set during biblical times, involving characters from the Bible, let me know. And don't let it be too preachy, because I have read one Christian fiction book, and it was this, but set in the 1700s in Scotland, and it was like Christian fiction or romance, and that just wasn't for me. Wasn't into it, because I really don't like love triangles, and in this it wasn't really presented as a love triangle, and like they did it well. The author did it well. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a bath now. I'm so greasy. This hair is disgusting, but that's not gonna be washed tomorrow. But I'm going to go get a bath, and I will see y'all soon. Who knows? I don't know when I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all in the next clip. Hey guys, I just got home. You're sitting in my bed, so it's kind of wobbly. I apologize, but it's Sunday. I'm about to get into reading for the day, but I did want to show y'all what I got for Amazon Prime Day. So I got these bracelets because having a hint of red in your outfit, or in your outfit as an accent, is really in this fall. So these red bracelets, stackable bracelets, there by Shimmer. I don't know how to say that, by that brand, but if you guys want the links for any of this stuff, let me know and I'll be sure to send it. So I got those red bracelets, and then I got these earrings. I haven't taken out. Oh, one of the, two of those things actually. If you wear clip-ons, you know. These little things. Put them back in the this little bag that it came in. So these like lion head earrings, they're just this fashion jewelry. I don't know if that's the brand or not, but I really love, I love lions. They're my favorite animal, and I just love the style of these. They're probably gonna be kind of heavy, but I don't really care. I actually do, my ears are hurting from the earrings I'm wearing right now, so I'm gonna take those off and I'm gonna throw them in this bag as well, because I'll be taking them all to my jewelry holder. And then I got some makeup that, who knows how this is gonna be, because it was only $7, but again, it was on sale. So I got 3 little, one is a concealer, one is blush, and one is bronzer, I'm pretty sure, but just cream makeup. It's by the brand Hello Kiss. So I'm going to get into the red tint for the day. I highly doubt that I'll finish it today, but I am going to get, yeah, that'd be reading over half a day, which I don't think that's possible. I do have a hockey game to watch tonight. It's a West Coast game, so I probably won't watch the whole game, but I'm gonna at least try to watch some of it. That's at 8:30, which, I mean, that's only like an hour later than normal, but it's on the West Coast, so it's late, and I don't want to give them all that time because I like to read and I like to sleep. Camera right there. Move that up. But y'all, sometimes having a dog, a young dog, is so difficult. That's not that bad, but I was going out there and she did well on her train, or it's not really train at this point, she knows what to do, but like sit down, roll over, she did very well on that. Then I'm like, okay, she's playing with one of her toys now, so I am going to take some pictures because it's golden hour. She sees me doing that. She's like, no, I'm gonna pull your pants. So she pulled my pants, and I did not think I was gonna be able to get away. And then I was wearing my hoodie. So after I got her away from my pants, she started grabbing my hoodie, and that's when I got cut on my hand. And oh, guys, that dog is something else. Again, if you get a dog, pay that $1,000 for training, because I was not allowed to, because my dad was like, they beat the dogs, that's the only way you can train them. And I was like, I don't think they do that. I don't think the dogs get beat at these places that have great reviews of being trained, but he thinks they get abused at dog training places. So I was not able to get my dog trained. And yeah, she knows how to sit, she knows down, and she knows how to roll over, but if she gets hyped, she's hyped and will not stop, which is very frustrating. And I like to keep it real with y'all, because when I first got her, that's when I kept it really real, when she didn't know any commands or anything, and was a few-month-old puppy. That was chaos. So these days, like what just happened, are extremely rare now, but they still happen. I just want people to keep that in mind, that they are not a puppy forever. It's not going to be like this forever. I've had other dogs and they are not as that crazy anymore. So that is one thing, you have to just embrace the puppyhood. You can see a little bit of my pillow pumpkin, but I just finished Miracle Creek. Let me move all my stuff around. I have stuff everywhere, but I finished Miracle Creek. So by doing the claw palettes, a 3.75, which is a 4-star, which is what I thought it was going to be, because I did love it. I can't believe I was going to unhaul this book. So thank you so much for the person who told me that they heard this was good, because it is. It's better than good. So let's go into my thoughts. So characters, I gave a 4-star. I really like, or no, I give them a 5-star actually. I do think they were the best part of the story. Is all these people are linked by these same events. All our POV characters are linked by the same event, and we see how they all go about it differently. And I think there's also a theme, I guess this should go more to the plot, but of, I was going to say of motherhood, but we do have a male character who is trying to be a father but is having fertility issues. So we really see how everybody goes about parenting differently. and how the role of mother, father is not just one set thing. I think everybody does it so differently, and it's just not, there's not just one like way to be a mother. There's a lot of different ways, or there's not one way to be a father. There's a lot of different ways. That's kind of confusing to like put it into words. But if you read this book, I think you'll understand how everybody goes about their parenting journey differently. No, I am obviously not a parent, so I don't know what my journey is. Atmosphere, that was fine. It didn't play a huge part. We are in more of a rural, but northern Virginia. So if you want to think politically and all of that. The Lucy Score books are set in Nova, which is northern Virginia. So I was just picturing this being in the same universe. Writing was the downfall for me. I don't feel like it was overwritten, and yeah, it was just overwritten for me, and I do think a lot of it could have been diced down. And then, so I gave writing and atmosphere 3 stars, and then the plot I gave a 4-star. I really enjoyed this plot. I liked seeing how all these people's stories, how they were all going about the situation differently. And again, I like the themes of parenthood. And then I didn't really expect the plot twist, and it was also logical, because a lot of times when you read thrillers, it'll just be something really out there, but this one was very logical. And I feel like there was more I wanted to say about the plot, but I can't think of it. Plot. Fred is bathing, and it's just talking to me like he has his leg up. I'm like, dude, why do you have to be cleaning your private parts when I'm vlogging? But there was more I wanted to say about the plot, so hopefully I'll remember and can tell y'all later. But I did really enjoy Miracle Creek, and I'm so glad that I didn't mean to, but I got an Angie Kim book. Is it this month or last month? Last month, or was it this month? I don't know, but I got her next book in my book of the month box recently, and I didn't realize it was the same author. So I'm so glad I did that, because I really enjoyed this book, and obviously this was her debut, so I do think it will only get better, and her writing will only get better, because as I said, the writing was really the only thing that was a downfall for me. So I do think it'll get better. So yeah, 3.75, really enjoyed. I loved it. I definitely do recommend picking up Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. I just got back from exercise, and I want my background to look kind of festive, so we're putting the pumpkin right there. But yeah, that was low-key a workout, because I did that, and I was like, man, I need to get the water bottles from my room to put in the recycle bin. So I did that. So I had to walk all the way back out there. But I mean, it's not that bad, but I am kind of out of breath from going on a walk. Like that, several laps. I don't know how many steps I got, but well over 1,000, I would say. So I did get to over 25% in The Man Who Swam with Beavers. So I loved the first 2 stories. The one yesterday that was about like Mary and a bear, which I'm sure is a metaphor. That one was like, it was alright, I didn't really care. The one today had really good writing. Let me see it. It was the longest one so far, and it was The Man Who Went Through Everything, and I really liked the writing in that one. So I am currently on page 69. I don't know how many stories are actually in here. They're not numbered, and I don't feel like counting all that, but there's over 100 pages left. But I am really liking this. And then I started a new book today, which is Of Blood and Bone by Nora Roberts. I bought this book back when it first came out. Didn't even know it was a sequel, even though it literally says it right there, because there was beef with Tony Adeyemi, which I bought that book as well because I was intrigued by that one, but I've since unhauled it because I'm not as interested in YA fantasy. But Tony Adeyemi was mad that Nora Roberts named her book Of Blood and Bone when her book is called Children of Blood and Bone. I'm like, people, that is like the most basic fantasy sounding name for any of these books, Blood and Bone. Like, put that in and you know it's a fantasy novel. And yeah, so I don't think she should have been as mad as she was about it. I'm like, it's just the title for one. Like, I feel like for me, when I write stuff, I'm always like, what do I name this? That's why I'm glad that I mainly write nonfiction now, because I just have to be like, this is a book review of Blood and Bone by Nora Roberts. It's that simple. When you're writing something fiction, it's so difficult. But I feel like with these names of both books that were in this feud, you could just go on a fantasy book name generator and get this name. But this, as I said, it was a sequel, and I read the first book back in 2020, so 3 years ago. And I haven't watched book reviews on YouTube because I'm just like, I'm kind of getting there. I don't know, on the third chapter, I think. No, actually second, because there was a prologue and then the first chapter. And so there was a pandemic and it killed billions of people, literally billions. And so anarchy happens, obviously, because that's what happens. I mean, like with COVID, that's when all the Black Lives Matter stuff was happening. There were riots everywhere. So like, I'm not saying that's straight up anarchy, but I mean, kind of. that is on a very low level, and this is full level, like government's gone and all of that. So anarchy happens, but the pandemic is a lot of magic came within people. Some grew wings, some grew like elf ears, and they have little magical powers, like maybe can light a candle with their fingers, like that kind of magic, you know, which is the magic I personally really enjoy. More of just witchy vibes. There's witches, elves, fairies. I really like that, and I love that. This is set as a fantasy, but I think it's more on the sci-fi. I don't know, maybe that's just because it's set in our real world and everything, so it might be fantasy, but it's low fantasy. And I love dystopian books. I mean, think of when I was coming of age or whatever. There were the Hunger Games, the Maze Runner, Divergent, like that was just the big thing. So I still love those tropes. It's one of my favorite tropes. So I'm doing the audiobook for this because it's not over 500 pages, but if I want to complete my TBR this month, it would be ideal to get through this pretty fast, which I'm listening at 1.55 speed. So I started that today. And just want to let y'all know. Guys, look at that. Look at that. Oh my. Oh my. Beautiful. Pumpkin, where are you? Get in the frame, Pumpkin. Get there. Okay, so I got to 81% in the red tint, and as I said, I'm loving this. I don't know exactly why it's not a 5-star. I'm extremely loving it, but it's just not hitting that 5-star level. I think it's how I told you about the character stuff, how some stuff I am a little confused by at times. But yeah, if you watch this channel in the past 4 years, I have really struggled with retellings, Greek retellings. I have a hard time with it. But a biblical retelling, this is my jam. I love this. So yes, this is right up my alley, and I have found some other books that are biblical retellings and just books set in the ancient world. Because that's what gets a 5-star, and this is the setting for me. That's the highlight, which you don't really expect that. But I did mean to talk, that looks kind of weird, but okay. I did watch a movie during lunch today. I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas because it was only like an hour long, and I don't remember the last time I saw that movie. It's been a really long time. I think that one isn't really directed by Tim Burton, if you didn't know. The last one I watched by him was Frankenweenie, and I saw that in theaters and I didn't really like it, but I mean, that was 11 years ago, so I might have different thoughts now. But yeah, with Nightmare Before Christmas, I really like the stop motion claymation. Is it a claymation one? It looks like it, but I'm not sure. I really like that. I like the aesthetic. But the score is, y'all know, I am a sucker for soundtracks and scores of movie and TV. So I did absolutely love that part. Like, it is Halloween, it's stuck in my head. But yeah, it was a 3-star. It was good. Didn't love it, but it's not a new favorite. And then I'm going to be watching Francis. When I vlog, he's just staring right at me like he's my live audience. But I'm going to watch Hocus Pocus for the first time ever. I've never seen it, which is crazy. It came out 6 years before I was born. Like Nightmare Before Christmas, they came out the same year. I don't know how I've never seen it, because obviously it played on Disney Channel a bunch, I would assume. But yeah, I've always been a Halloween Town girly, which we will watch, because we're 2 weeks out from Halloween today, to let y'all know. But as I read 100 pages, I'll watch Hocus Pocus. I don't know if any of my friends are going to watch with me, because my friends love this movie, so I need to see if any of them want to buddy watch it. Buddy watch is not a thing. See if any of them want to watch it with me. It's an hour and a half, I think, maybe a little less than that. It's a good thing with these Disney movies, they're not that long. But because if I like normal movies I watch are usually like 3 hours long. I love a long movie, but sometimes I need something nice and short. So also World on Fire is now, season 2 is now available in the United States, episode 1. And I need to get to that. It's one of my favorite shows. But Wednesday is my chill day of the week, and I should have even extra time tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna watch that at lunch tomorrow, because I really love that show. I did get a slight spoiler because it did come out in the UK like 6 months before it came out in the US, but with this character, with this actor, his characters always die on shows, so like I should have known, but I'm like, how's it going to happen? Probably a heart attack. No, this is World War II in England. There was a thing called the Blitz, if y'all weren't aware. But yeah, so that was a TV update, or movie update, and Red Tent update. So I should finish this in about 2 days, I would think. But I am going to go get a shower. And yeah, did I tell you I started a new toothpaste today? The Sensodyne toothpaste. It actually like tasted really good, because when I've tried white toothpaste in the past by Colgate, it literally burned my mouth. So I've been strict only using blue toothpaste for years. So going back to a white toothpaste, I was kind of nervous, but it was great. At least for my first time using it. So I'm gonna go do that and then watch Hocus Pocus. I hope I'm good on storage. Pumpkin, where should I put you, Pumpkin? There. So where's my book? Where's the book? Okay. I got to 35% in Blood and Bones. I want to give y'all my thoughts so far. So let's start with characters. So our main character is the daughter of 2 of our characters from the first book, and she is basically the chosen one. She is the one who will unite everybody, because like as I told y'all earlier, America, and this is like a dystopia. Then some people have magical powers, and there's people who are against ones with magical powers, wanting to kill the ones with magical powers. And so this Fallon is the chosen one who is supposed to unite all these people. So her plot is going with this like sorcerer guy and learning all the magical powers and all of that. She's annoying. So she's 13 years old, and this book made me realize I love books that are written by adults and intended for adults but do have children characters, because I just think there's something so sweet about it. Yeah. But yeah, so she is annoying. Yeah, she just annoys me because just her personality, don't like it. And then we do have characters from the previous book, but they're not central characters. The past 2 chapters have been about them, or I don't know if it was 2, maybe 1. Yeah, actually 2. Atmosphere, I love dystopian, and I love when it's a real world setting and when it's near future. So like the cities like DC and Arlington, whatever, are still cities in the book. And then writing is good, no complaint on the writing, and then the plot is awesome. But I mean, it is a trope that we've seen a ton of times, the chosen one trope, but I do think it's being written well, because nobody is quite sure if she's actually the chosen one or not. A lot of people just have different views on it, and I just think it's so realistic too, for if something like this was to happen in the United States. I think this book is pretty spot on how it would be. There was another we had in the last chapter that I read, like this religious cult of people who made this like a religious thing, and I think that I always love to see how religion goes into dystopians, which you don't really see that much. I guess writers are scared to touch on that, but we do see that here. And another thing that I'm always fascinated by in dystopia, what happens to the celebrities? Because celebrities are so predominant in our culture. So I'm like, what happens to them when these like dystopian things happen? I asked one of my friends, and he was like, they're not for this book in particular, but I was like, what happens in a dystopian situation in this artist? He's like, they're probably in a bunker somewhere. I'm like, no, I don't think so. That's not as exciting, but it could be. Imagine all famous people in a bunker together. Interesting. Book idea, potentially, if anybody wants to write that. I personally don't want to write that, but if anybody wants to write that, you can say you got the idea from me. I got some packages today, so I wanted to say I've changed how I do my book buying because I was buying too much, and the reef on my door is being so loud. No, those are the construction people across the street, but okay. So I would typically, like on Amazon, I would only buy a book if it was over 25% off. Now I'm doing it, but it's over 50% off, which I've not been able to buy a book over 50% off yet. But this is one I ordered a while ago, and it took forever to get here. So this is coming from Blackstone Publishing on, I love the name of the road, Mistletoe Road in Ashland, Ohio. So let's see if it's what I think it is. Because when I got this today, I was like, that looks like a book. I'm like, when did I order this? Because I did get a book on eBay yesterday because the seller offered it for literally $2, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that. And then I pre-ordered a book for my dad yesterday for he asked for it for Christmas, and I was like, there's no way that it's getting here. So it's nicely wrapped. I did not expect that. I got this on Amazon, if it's what I think. Yes, I got this on Amazon, so I guess I got it straight from the publishing company. And it is Beverly Bone Finch is Dead. I literally have no idea where I heard about this book, or maybe I just saw it on Amazon, but socially awkward, anxiety-riddled Beverly Bonfinch only loves 3 things in life: her parents, books, and a homeless man named Bill. Without them, the only way Beverly manages to get by each day is with the help of a peculiar coping mechanism that allows her to dissolve her feelings. Yet everything changes for Beverly when she meets Henry, a persistent, friendly man who sees something in Beverly most people have missed. As their relationship develops, despite her best intentions, Beverly soon finds herself stepping outside of her carefully controlled life and forging new friendships. It's only when a series of twists and turns threatens to unravel her new life and her mind that Beverly must determine if she's got it in her to stop trudging through life and finally start living it. And that just sounded so relatable to me. There's toilet paper all over this book. Maybe that's one of her coping mechanisms, but this just sounded just like me. I don't know what that says about me, but I was like, that's me. I assume where the author lives. She lives in Tampa, so that's cool. But yes, that came from the publisher, which I wasn't expecting when I bought a random book on Amazon. Then y'all are sent on a package from Bath & Body Works because I bought a candle because I didn't like one of the candles I got. So I'm giving that candle to somebody else because it's one of the most popular scents and I didn't like it at all. So I got Leaves, I think is what I got, which is one of my favorites. Like, that scent is nostalgia to me. That is how fall is supposed to smell. But I just wanted to open this book on camera with y'all, and then I am going to get to reading in a little bit in the Nora Roberts one of Blood and Bone. Wow, need to move this a little tiny bit. Okay, and you can still see my pumpkins. That's super nice. I was saying, wow, that hair from laying in bed reading. So here to update about Blood and Bone. So this right here, where's my little, because I need to put my chapter. This is how I know how many chapters I want to read in a day. So we're currently on the bottom line. So this sheet is at the last of its days, but I read 5 chapters a day in here. So I got to over the halfway point now. That's everything I've read. And my comment today is, I think it needed to be formatted better because we do have 2 plot lines. We have the one that has Fallon, who is like the chosen one, and then we have the city, or I don't know, the village of New Hope, which New Hope is where a lot of the characters from the first book came together and made a community. And it's like a peaceful community where anybody can live, like normal humans, humans with magic, they can all live there. So that's one of the plot lines of like everyday life there, and how they go on missions to free people who might be in confinement camps, is that the right word? Because the government, of course, is testing people with magical abilities, so they break people out of there, and then there's like raiders and all of that, so that they free a lot of people from those situations and bring them back to New Hope. And New Hope is like this peaceful place, like it's a normal town. They do have trials, they do have police, all of that, so it's not like it's a utopia, but it's pretty much like normal. Another thing, so what I'm saying is we have those two plot lines, and I just feel like we are mainly focusing on Fallon, but then we'll randomly get an update for what's happening in New Hope. There's not really a consistency, so that's my issue there. So that's the writing, but more so the formatting. And then it is kind of repetitive at times. We'll have a dream sequence happen, and then Fallon has to go tell Malik the whole dream, and I'm like, we literally just read the dream and now we have to hear it again or read it again, and that can be kind of frustrating. And it was starting to get repetitive with all these trials and lessons she has to go through with Malik. But we're at the next part I'm at, which is the sword and the shield. I think that repetitiveness is going away. And another thing is, the theme here, I think, is how humans will treat other humans who are different than them, how the extremes that a situation can go of humanity, extremes of doing like the confinement camps, and then the other extreme of treating people with kindness, like there's no difference in each other. And I think that's obviously very true. That does happen. And oh my gosh, my shoulder. But there is that update for y'all. Yeah, so I think I will be finishing the red tint tonight, so you'll probably hear from me then. But if you don't, then I'll be in another vlog later. But you will see me again, that's for sure. Guys, I cleaned my stove today, and it's so nice. I basically took we didn't clean that. I took like a Mr. Clean eraser that's made for kitchens, and then there were tons of crumbs. I literally got my mini like handheld vacuum, and that's how I got rid of the crumbs. I like need a really small vacuum to really get into these crevices, but I think what I did was good enough for the time being. Time to end out the vlog, but I did finish the red tint. I'm giving it a 4.5, so very high standard. So on Goodreads, I will put that in as a 4 because I feel like 5 stars are the only ones I can get that actual 5 star. But I do know in math, 5 or more, let it soar, you round it up. So let's talk about my thoughts of this book. As you can see, I absolutely loved it. So first we're going to start with characters. We're giving them a 4 because, as I told y'all earlier in the vlog, I was getting kind of confused at the start between like Rachel and Leah and like the sisters. I was getting them confused, but they did get more developed as the story went on. But at the beginning I was kind of confused. There was a lot happening and I didn't have a real grip on the characters yet. And then atmosphere, amazing. That was my favorite part. I love this biblical setting, this old world setting, ancient world setting, and it just makes me want to do a ton of research. Then writing, the writing was good. I loved it, but it wasn't 5-star quality writing, but it was still really good. And then it was very descriptive, I should say, but not overdoing it. And it was very, like, it makes me think of a painting. Like this cover, like how this style of painting, that's what that writing reminded me of. Which I know I know that sounds crazy, but that's just the image it like puts in my head, is that art style. Then plot was a 5-star. The writing was a 4-star. I don't know if I said that. So plot was a 5-star. I absolutely love the idea of doing a biblical retelling because we see so many like Greek retellings, other mythologies. Greek is the main one though, but we see a lot of mythology retellings. And yes, I personally do believe in the Bible, but but I do know it can fall in the category of mythology, but so I haven't read any retellings, any biblical retellings, so that was super exciting for me to see these stories I grew up on being more depth added to them, I guess, and more focus on other characters that maybe just get mentioned in passing. and giving more of a backstory to those characters. And now I cannot wait to go do a ton of research on this. But yes, so that was a 4.5. I will be starting my next my next mood read in the next vlog as well. I'm going to start it tomorrow, but we'll be talking about in the next vlog, which is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is probably my favorite book by her. And this was a 5-star prediction last year and it lived up to that prediction. So in next week's vlog, I will be going into detail of my thoughts on this book every day. So if you want to stay tuned for that, subscribe. But yeah, as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. If you made it all the way through the video, leave a red emoji in the comments below. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!